Semplicemente mancio che poi ti sbandiera un ratto, non ti resta che tagliate le vene. Stai tremando. Wow, what a result! Now, I did do a little live stream yesterday, but then I got interrupted. Can I just say, if my parents are watching this, I got it wasn't nice. They interrupted my live stream because they wanted to go to bed, and I was shouting. And I was like 10 minutes into the stream, and now I'm gonna do this again because I've had a chance to re-watch parts of the game. I had the chance to read comments, statistics, and yeah, this result is very surprising. Number one, and is a massive result. This is a massive result because the last time Roma won at San Siro against Milan was in 2017, and the last time that Roma kept 4 consecutive clean sheets was in 2017. These statistics come up together and show us that this team is a completely different team. The attitude and the mentality when it comes to these games of this team is completely different to what it was 3 months ago. And we're seeing the results of this. And I want to take time today. I want to take time to look at this game properly. And just give my match reaction because I think I want to take my time. Maybe I'm also going to do a double stream today, later tonight. We're going to speak about the Udinese game, and I'm going to give you a match preview. But the first thing that I want to say is, again, like target, I really demand 100 likes today. I always ask for 100 likes, but I think when the team plays well, it's even more special if we group together as a community and show the players, show DDR, and show the fans, the traveling fans, all of our support. So yeah, it would be great if we can get 100 likes on this video. There are so many things that I want to touch on today regarding this match. The first thing that I do want to say, however, is calm, because Milan have got quality, and Milan can win at the Olimpico easily next Thursday. They can do it. They've done it in the league multiple times over these past seasons. Milan yesterday played a bad game because of us. Because we made them play a bad game. But Milan have got the quality. You know, a lot of the decisions that De Rossi prepared in yesterday's game were unexpected, which contributed to a poor Milan performance. I have no doubt that Milan have got immense quality in that team, and I've got no doubt that Milan next Thursday can easily turn this around. But this is a massive advantage for us. Winning at San Siro against probably one of the most on-form teams in Italy right now, if not the most on-form team in Italy. A team which has got quality over quality over quality, and we absolutely dominated yesterday's game under every single tactical point of view, which is something that I'm going to get into. But again, I always say this, but feet on the ground. You know, feet on the ground. Because yes, we've won, but we've got games to play. We've still achieved nothing. We've achieved a massive result yesterday evening, but we're not off to the semi-finals. We've got 90 minutes, if not more, to be played in our home ground next week, which are going to be crucial. So it would be very wrong to think that we are in a semi-final already, because we aren't. Milan can turn this around, and I hope not, but Milan can easily turn this around. But again, where do we start? I think I really need to speak about the overall performance, because as I mentioned at the start, the reason why Milan didn't play a good game yesterday is because of us. We played. I've no problem saying this. The game that we played yesterday, seen the level of our opponents and seen the circumstances of it, playing in the temple of Italian football in Milan, where the last time we won was in 2017 with Spalletti. And if you remember that Spalletti team, it had Nainggolan in its prime, Salah, Dzeko in its prime, Totti still was playing. So the fact that this team, in the space of 3 months, has gone from being a completely divided team, a completely divided group of individuals who didn't follow the ideology of the manager anymore, and 3 months later, seeing the fact that De Rossi had no summer preseason, had no demand and nothing to say in the January transfer window, seeing all of these things, and seeing how fast this team changed in 3 months without a summer preseason, for a fan, I have to be honest, it gives me goosebumps. It does, because the attitude of this team is what surprised me the most yesterday. This team, this team, and this game. Let's get this game. Let's get this specific game against Milan. We could have played 10 games against Milan. Look, no, let me put this like this. We could have played 10 games against Milan at San Siro with the last few months of Mourinho, and we would have lost all 10. And I am confident when I say this, because the team was no longer following Mourinho, and the way Mourinho approached these games never, ever gave us a chance to win. Which is why it's surprising, and it's big for Roma to win a game at San Siro. And I want to get back to this, because I've mentioned this in the Derby match reaction, but I think I think you have to say this. I don't like bringing Mourinho back in every single match reaction, and I promise that I'm not doing this on purpose. But when you change a manager mid-season, you need to make comparisons. You know, that's, if you change a manager mid-season, you have a season to look at on two different fronts. And in this case, you have a season to look at on Mourinho's front, the first 6 months, and on De Rossi's front. And I have to be very honest with you, because honesty is key. Part of this incredible period, because it is an incredible period, because I don't think anybody would have thought. I think 3 months ago, I think the day De Rossi was appointed and the day Mourinho was sacked, if you told a Roma fan, we're going to win the derby and we're going to win at San Siro against Milan in the first leg of the Europa League quarterfinal, they would have laughed at you. But I come back to that 16th of January when Mourinho got sacked. And it's hard to agree to this. It is hard to agree to this, because I was devastated when the news came out. But I'm a Roma fan, and I always say this, I'm not a Mourinho fan. We move on. We move on. The most important thing is the badge. And I look at this change. I look at this, the dynamics of this change. And part of this incredible period that Roma is living is because of the Fredkins. I threw shit at them when they sacked Mourinho. I was hating on them because I was not expecting the results to be this. But you have to give credit to them, because they understood the perfect moment and timing to sack him. Because he wasn't grinding results in the big games, so they waited all the big games to end, and then they sacked him before the span of easy games started. Because if you would have kept Mourinho in the span of those easy games, then if Mourinho had won a few games, you couldn't have sacked him anymore. Because it would have gone completely even more against the public opinion and against the moral of things. So they understood the moment to act, to make their decision big, and ultimately to sack him. And I think that this team is a completely different, rejuvenated, revitalized team. Because when you go from 3 months ago, nobody knew about Svilor. De Rossi comes in, gives chances to Svilor, and now he's one of the best goalkeepers in the world. Not one of the best goalkeepers in the world, but he's unbelievable. He's unbelievable. 3 months ago, if you would have told Mourinho, oh well, you've got Çelik that you can use instead of Karsdorp, he would have said Çelik is terrible. Çelik yesterday pocketed Leao from minute 1 to minute 75. 3 months ago, we were told that El Shaarawy wasn't a super sub. Yesterday, man of the match. 3 months ago, we were told that Dybala can't play 2 consecutive games. 3 months ago, we were told that Lukaku is only good when he scores goals. 3 months ago, we were told that we had no goalkeeper apart from Rui Patricio. So I zoom out of things, and I put my zoom out mode, and I look at all the things that have changed over the course of these 3 months, and I get goosebumps. Like, I genuinely get goosebumps. Speaking about the game, because everybody wants to know my reaction on the game. It's a tactical masterclass. It's a tactical masterclass because yesterday, what made Milan play a bad game and what ultimately made us win the game is Daniele De Rossi. Because to put El Shaarawy on the right so that Milan didn't expect this and Leao got pocketed by both El Shaarawy and Celik, and I mean pocketed by Leao and Celik. By Celik and El Shaarawy. Celik and El Shaarawy got back to the hotel yesterday evening, got their pants off, and in their pockets they had their car keys, they had their wallet, their phone, and they had Leao's dreads because they pocketed him. And I'm going to say this out loud. What El Shaarawy gives to the team in 90 minutes is greater than what Rafael Leao gives to Milan in 90 minutes. Call me crazy. Call me a hyped bastard. But what El Shaarawy did yesterday is remarkable. What El Shaarawy did yesterday deserves a piece of wall next to the Mona Lisa at the Louvre. Man of the match by 4. Sacrificed himself, running back and forth, pocketing Leao, running into the box, making himself big in attack, running back in defense. Did Theo Hernandez and Leao do anything threatening yesterday? No. And that's because of Celik, who played an incredible defensive game, and El Shaarawy, who knows what it means to sacrifice himself for this football team. Hang on. Give me 1 sec. My God, I had to just get a towel because I'm sweating like mad. It's like 40 degrees in Rome today, lads. It's impressive, and it's April. I can't wait till June. I'm dying. But yeah, I think the tactical masterclass, the way that De Rossi chose for Paredes to drop down and be an added defender, and the fact that at the same time Paredes set up the play. I look at Smalling. He used like back at prime Smalling levels, winning aerial duels over aerial duels against Giroud, which isn't, he's a pretty big player, pretty big striker, pretty physical striker. Spinazzola, his runs yesterday were unbelievable. And then you've got Mancini. You've got Mancini, who's deciding games, who's becoming extremely clutch on corner kicks, who is absolutely loved by Roma fans, and his devotion to Romanism is impressive. And the fact that he was in doubt 24 hours before the game kicked off, and for him to start this game is impressive. It's a very, very, very good moment to be a Roma fan. But again, it's early days. We've still got a second leg to be played. So let's not hype ourselves too much, and let's not call the path to the semi-final a complete path. Do you think El Shaarawy and Dybala will switch, or was it just to help Celik with guarding Leao? I think it was to help Celik. I think that was a masterclass because Pioli said this post-match he wasn't expecting it. So De Rossi tactically masterminded Pioli. It's these little decisions which ultimately won us the game yesterday. Another massive player yesterday is Lukaku. I think he played an incredible, immense game, running everywhere. And De Rossi said this post-match again, the best game Lukaku has played since I'm the Roma manager. Because sometimes with a lot of these players, you tend to look and just analyse the goals that they score. And of course, Lukaku is your striker, you expect Lukaku to score the goals. But sometimes you need to look at other things. Sometimes you need to look at the sacrificial performance that these players pull out. Because as I said before, it's remarkable. What El Shaarawy did yesterday is unbelievable. What Lukaku did yesterday is immense. It's those performances which might not get the hype from the media, might not get the TikToks on the media, but for the importance for the team, for the importance of the team in grinding these results. You know, those performances is ultimately, from a manager's point of view, is what you demand. And Lukaku played a monstrous game yesterday. He was absolutely everywhere. And similar to Dybala, you know, this is probably the first game in the De Rossi era, but I would probably say over the course of this entire season, where Lukaku and Dybala made themselves big in a big game. Lukaku and Dybala yesterday were unbelievable. The way Dybala controlled the midfield, the way Dybala stops the ball, distributes them, it's just we prepared yesterday's game so well. But I want to go back to the attitude. You know, I want to go back to the mentality. This is a game that 3 months ago these players were scared to play. You know, we have the confirmation of this because 3 months ago we played this exact game and we lost 3-1, playing terrible game. 3 months later, the mentality of these groups of players has changed. Yesterday, what won us the game is that being brave, showing Milan that I can have a game where I can play at your same level, if not better than them. Because with their tactics yesterday and with our attitude yesterday, in Italy we say, il Milan non c'ha capito un cazzo. Non c'ha capito un cazzo. Leao, yesterday, I saw a video of Leao walking back home in the tunnel, in the media tunnel, after yesterday's game. He looked depressed. Because we made Milan look dirty. We made Milan look weak. And they didn't understand anything because some of our decisions they were completely underestimated by Milan and were completely unexpected. So, yeah, I think it's the brave attitude that the players had yesterday which won us the game. It's what we ultimately asked for in the match preview. It's what we will need in the second leg. It's what we will need on Sunday against Udinese. Being brave, not limiting ourselves to a lack of creativity. I have got a good team. My team can and needs to be in the top 4 positions in Italy. My team can beat Milan. But if I want to beat Milan, I need to be brave. I need to be courageous with my decision making. And I think in yesterday's game, you could completely see it. Right, let's read a few comments and then I'll say something else. Nothing is closed. We aren't playing Leverkusen, says Enes Elgami. Are you going to the stadium for the return game? I am. Mancini's a big game player, assisted in the Conference League final, Europa League final. This season scores against Inter and Lazio and Milan in the space of a week. What I want to speak about in a second is Mancini's evolution, because Mancini's evolution is remarkable. Hello, Xuan, welcome to the stream. Leao got bullied by Chilik indeed. What on earth happened to the Liverpool-Atalanta match though? Do you think Atalanta can get to the final if they get past it? Of course. I think I've said this in the match reaction in the live watch show yesterday. I think if Atalanta can do that at Anfield against Liverpool, that puts you on top when it comes to the favourites of winning the Europa League. You know, I really do think that that Atalanta yesterday have written history. We're going to speak about other teams, other games in a second. Let me just finish reading a few comments. Sorry lads, I'm sweating like mad, but it is so hot today in Rome. Do you think Roma should buy young players or older experienced players? Young players and a mix of experienced players. All the Milan fans crying about the ref are just looking and grasping for someone to blame other than themselves. Zvillari's top 4 in the league. He's very good. Simo, I usually work when you stream live, but I finally caught it at the right time. I've been following and been subscribed to your channel for a while now, and I love the effort you put into the channel and the community you've built of Roma fans. I'm moving to Roma this October for a year, and it would be awesome if I could meet you either at the Olimpico or to grab a beer. It would be the least I could do to pay you back for the support you do with your platform. Cheers, mate, and keep grinding. The videos have been fantastic as of late. Oh, mate, that was very kind. That was like a poem reading it. Thank you very much, and thank you very much for the $2. Grazie, Simo. This is for the previous message. I absolutely love these comments because I absolutely love them. But yeah, of course we can meet up pre-game, of course, just hit me up on Instagram. Or hit us up over at Roma Theory TV on Instagram. Thank you very much, mate. Mancini is a masterclass. He one of us 2 games against Lazio and Milan, but our job isn't done yet. You never know what is going to happen in the Stadio Olimpico. Some Milan-friendly media outlets insisted that Gabbia pocketed Lukaku. Lukaku ha messo in gabbia. Gabbia. I'm a jokester. I'm a jokester. If you're Italian, if you know, you know. If you're Italian, if you know, you know. Lukaku ha messo in gabbia gabbia. Lukaku l'ha messo in gabbia. I feel so much better to win versus Milan than winning against Feyenoord. Of course, because Milan are better than Feyenoord. Anyways, thanks for all the comments. I want to speak about the evolution of Mancini, because this guy has had probably one of the best evolutions out there. Oh, by the way, if you can hit the like, it would be great. If you're watching this live or not, I would love 100 likes on this video. The team deserves it, lads. It's not just about the community and Roma Theory. The team deserves it. Winning against Milan at San Siro is something that doesn't happen every time. So show them the love and hit the like. Yeah, Mancini's evolution is great. I see a player who is not focused on fights and shithouser moments anymore, but I see a player who is focused on his mentality more than others. The evolution of him as a player, because he's an absolutely great defender, and Spalletti should take notes. But yeah, mentally he's evolved a lot, because he's understood what it means to care about this team. And I think since we lost that Europa League final, Mancini and Roma have become even more attached. I remember Mancini was probably one of the few players who wrote a very emotional message when we lost that Europa League final. So Mancini really is loved. Mancini isn't Roman, but he is Roman. You know, he's becoming slowly, very slowly, but very remarkably and inevitably a very, very big Romanista. Refereeing. I could not care less about Milan fans protesting. Number one, because I rewatched clips of that Mancini goal and the lead up to that goal, and that is not offside. Yesterday I was convinced that was offside, but that is not offside. There's something called technology, and they put technology in football for a very simple reason. Gabbia's knee holds Lukaku in position. So that is not offside. And if you're saying that's offside, then you don't know the rules, and you haven't seen the latest clips which have come out on social media, because that is not offside. I can understand Tammy's penalty. I can understand Milan's frustration on that penalty, because if that had happened to us, we would have done the same. But there are 2 reasons why I really do not care about their frustration. Number one is because that's a penalty that only gets given in Italy, and that is never a penalty that gets given in Europe. European referees are different. They follow different rule books, and they are set out by UEFA. So of course that's a penalty which any Italian referee would give, because Italian referees are Italian referees, but that's a penalty which in Europe doesn't get given. And number 2, let's say that that is a penalty. You can kiss and scratch my balls, because I lost a fucking European final because of a refereeing and because of penalties, not given penalties. I had my summer ruined because of Anthony Taylor and Mr. Ceferin appointing these referees. So for once in every death of a pope that we get a favourable call and everybody's protesting, you can literally dilly-dilly-dang do with my balls. You can. And I couldn't care less. Because that's what you get. All of those Milan fans, Inter fans, Lazio fans, Napoli fans, Juventus fans. Not all of them, but I know a lot of Milan fans, Inter fans, Lazio fans, Juventus fans who were the happiest people on earth when we lost that final because of Anthony Taylor. Karma comes back. So stop complaining and get over it. We completely dominated Milan yesterday. I'm not saying this because I'm delusional. I'm not saying this because I'm delusional. I'm saying this because we tactically masterminded Stefano Pioli. Milan, apart from that crossbar hit by Giroud with that Chukwueze little snake move, did nothing yesterday. They did absolutely nothing. And they are lucky that this game ended 1-0. Because this game, if we have, better clutchness up front, this game could have easily ended 2-0. Easily ended 2-0. So, kiss my ass. Again, with that being said, calm. Always calm. Because we've got 90 minutes to go. If not more. Milan can win at the Olimpico, and Milan are a very dangerous side. So, feet on the ground. Before thinking on Thursday, we have to think about Sunday. We need to avoid repeating the same mistake as last season, which is getting too hyped because we're winning Europa League games, completely distracting ourselves from the league, and then we reach a Europa League final, lose it, and then somehow we don't get to the Champions League. That's a mistake that we made last year, and you learn from our mistakes. We need to go to the end and fight until the end on both the Europa League and the Serie A, which, by the way, is 99% going to get 5 Champions League spots confirmed. Because if Atalanta don't lose against Liverpool and Fiorentina qualify to the next round against Victoria Pilsen, then Italy have 5 teams confirmed. So it's coming closer. Also, another very, very, very big thing, my friends. If Atalanta was to win the Europa League, Italy would get 6 teams in Europe, 6 teams in the Champions League, which is massive. So the fact that Atalanta won against Liverpool is also massive, because I think that Atalanta now can easily reach that final, because I think they'll beat Benfica and or Marseille. So if they win the Europa League and we qualify 6th in the league, we get Champions League, which is another massive thing, because if Atalanta whoever wins the Europa League goes straight to the Champions League, which still leaves 5 gaps, which means that if Atalanta qualify 5th and win the Europa League, 6th goes to Champions League. So that's also a very good note, news when it comes to our Champions League hopes. Again, looking at the games, I don't like Atalanta, but I tend to also respect the values of football. I know what it means to beat a master football team, because my team did it against probably one of the most biggest Barcelona sides in history. The end of Barcelona prime. Again, I think it's similar. I think what Atalanta did yesterday is comparable to what we did to Barcelona. I agree. We had a little discussion on the fan forum yesterday. I agree. It's not to the same extent. Number one, because it's a Champions League game, and number two, it's because Barcelona was starting with their big ones, including Messi in his prime. Liverpool did played 50 minutes with no Salah, Diaz, or Szoboszlai. Still, it's big, and I respect what Atalanta did, because scoring 3 goals at Anfield doesn't happen every time. If we were to qualify for the semi-finals, we were either going to get Bayer Leverkusen or West Ham. It's most probably going to be Bayer Leverkusen. But again, no need to think about the semi-final, because we've got Udinese on Sunday, and we need to end this quarter-final against Milan next Thursday. But it is without doubt that the Italian results yesterday are massive for Italian football. Both Roma winning at San Siro and both Atalanta winning at Anfield. So respect to them. They absolutely, apparently they dominated that game and deserved that game. And again, Liverpool are in the middle of a league title, so their interest towards the Europa League is, I wouldn't say minimal, but it's definitely not to the same extent as the Premier League. So yeah, I think Atalanta are very dangerous, but of course, I'd rather, in a hypothetical final, again, long way to go, but in a hypothetical final, I'd of course rather play Atalanta than Liverpool. So it is very good that Liverpool, or I'd say one step away, because I know Liverpool can easily turn it around, but I just think Liverpool are in such close span of winning in the title race that they really don't care much about this Europa League. But yeah, will do, mate. I'll message you then. Hopefully we get to see Champions League next season. Indeed, mate, indeed. That isn't a penalty. He didn't change the direction of the ball, says Ines. Vincenzo dice, bravo, we get Anthony Taylor to the finals. If we get to the final, I'll be pissed. How about you? I think if we get to a final and they put Anthony Taylor, I think Roma's going to ask for the final. I think Roma's not going to travel to Dublin as a sign of protest. They can't do it. They won't do it, and they will not do it. So yeah, I'm going to catch you tonight for the Udinese match preview. If you haven't already, do hit the like, subscribe to the channel, do it for the boys, do it for DDR, do it for the massive result that we achieved yesterday at San Siro. I'm going to catch you later tonight for the match preview for the Udinese game. Massive game, no lacks of concentration. But yeah, up the boys, up the DDR, and Forza Roma sempre. These are the performances which make us fans proud. These are the performances that we live for. It's not over, but as I always said and repeated for a million times over these past days, always believe in what you do. In life, and in this case, in football. I'll talk to you soon. See you out at. Actually, no, there's a comment from Kino Papi. I'm not going to miss it. Milan fan here. I saw your preview yesterday and you mentioned why do Milan fans hate Pioli. It's games like this where Pioli ideas are limited and we rely on individual performances. You guys did great. Game recognizes game. Class recognizes class. You've got a great team, mate. Don't chin down because you can easily beat us at the Olimpico. Obviously, I hope not because I'm a Roma fan. But good luck because you've got a good team and it's our quarterfinal to be lost. We really don't have to drop this glass ball or otherwise it shatters. Home advantage is going to play a big part. I'll be there, but Udinese first. Simo, out.